Ryan Carter never believed in fate. As a businessman, he built his life on logic, strategy, and careful planning. Success didn't come from luck. It came from hard work. That was the rule he lived by. But on that chilly autumn evening, inside a crowded restaurant, fate decided to prove him wrong. Ryan had just wrapped up a long day of meetings and was looking forward to a quiet dinner. He sat alone at a corner table, sipping black coffee as he scrolled through emails on his phone. The restaurant was warm, filled with the clatter of plates and the hum of conversations. Then, something unusual caught his attention. Hello, family. Welcome to Storytime Mutually. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting stories. Like and share this video to your friends and loved ones. Thank you as you do so. Sit back, relax as we dive into the story. A little girl, no older than 5 or 6, stood near the entrance. She wore a pink coat, slightly oversized, and clutched a small stuffed bunny to her chest. Her light brown curls framed her delicate face, and her big blue eyes darted around the room, filled with uncertainty. She was alone. Ryan watched for a moment, expecting a parent to appear. But as the seconds passed, the little girl's expression changed from confusion to worry. Her tiny hands trembled as she clutched her bunny even tighter. A waiter passed by, barely noticing her. Other diners glanced at her, but quickly returned to their meals. No one seemed to care. Ryan felt something stir inside him, an emotion he couldn't quite place. He put his phone down, stood up, and walked toward her. "Hey there," he said gently, kneeling to her level. "Are you lost?" The little girl blinked up at him, her lower lip quivering. I can't find my mommy," she whispered. Her voice was so small, so fragile, that it tugged at something deep inside Ryan. He softened his tone. "What's your name?" "Lily," she sniffled. Something about that name made his chest tighten, but he pushed the thought aside. "Okay, Lily. I'll help you find your mommy, okay? You're safe with me." She hesitated, then nodded. "Do you remember where you last saw her?" Lily wiped her nose with her sleeve. She was talking on the phone outside. "I saw a puppy and wanted to look, but when I turned back, she was gone." Ryan felt his stomach twist. He knew the panic that came with losing sight of a loved one, even if he had never experienced it from a child's perspective. "All right," he said. "Let's go to the front and see if she's still outside." He gently took her tiny hand in his, surprised at how natural it felt. Together, they walked toward the entrance. But before they could step outside, a frantic voice rang through the restaurant. "Lily." "Oh my God, Lily." Ryan turned just in time to see a woman rushing toward them. And in that instant, his entire world shifted. Standing in front of him was Emma Reynolds, the woman he had once loved, the woman he had lost, and the mother of his child. Emma skidded to a stop, her breath coming in short gasps. Her panicked expression turned into one of pure shock as she locked eyes with Ryan. For a moment, the entire restaurant seemed to fade away. It was just the two of them, staring at each other, trapped in a moment they never expected. "Ryan." Emma's voice was barely above a whisper. Ryan felt his throat tighten. "Emma." Lily, oblivious to the tension, clung to her mother. "Mommy, I got lost. But this nice man helped me." Emma barely reacted to her daughter's words. She was still staring at Ryan as if she had seen a ghost. Ryan's mind raced. Lily, the little girl he had just promised to protect. The little girl who had felt so strangely familiar. The little girl who, now that he looked closer, had his eyes. "Emma," he said, his voice unsteady. "Is she mine?" Emma inhaled sharply, her eyes glistening with emotion. And then, after what felt like an eternity, she nodded. Ryan staggered back as if he had been punched. 5 years. 5 years of believing that his past with Emma was just a painful memory. 5 years of thinking he had lost her forever. 5 years of not knowing that he had a daughter. His daughter. His world spun. A mixture of anger, regret, and disbelief flooded through him. "Why didn't you tell me?" His voice was low, controlled, but the storm beneath it was undeniable. Emma flinched. "It's not that simple, Ryan." "Not that simple?" He let out a humorless laugh. I have a daughter, Emma. And you never told me. Lily looked up between them, confusion and worry filling her innocent face. Mommy? Emma immediately crouched down, stroking her daughter's curls. It's okay, sweetheart. Everything's okay. Ryan watched them, his heart aching. Lily was his flesh and blood. And he had missed every single moment of her life. He clenched his fists. We need to talk. Now. Emma looked hesitant, but after a long pause, she finally nodded. Okay, she said quietly. Let's talk. Ryan exhaled, trying to steady himself. His life had just changed forever, and he had no idea what would happen next. Ryan Carter sat across from Emma Reynolds in a quiet cafe just a few blocks away from the restaurant. Lily, now peacefully sipping on a strawberry milkshake, remained blissfully unaware of the storm brewing between her parents. Ryan hadn't touched his coffee. His fingers drummed against a table as he tried to process the reality in front of him. 5 years. 5 years of silence. 5 years of not knowing he had a daughter. His daughter. He exhaled sharply. Emma, I need to know the truth. Why didn't you tell me about Lily? Emma hesitated, her hands tightening around her own cup. It wasn't my choice to keep her from you, Ryan. Ryan's eyes darkened. Then whose choice was it? She sighed, glancing at Lily, who was too focused on her milkshake to notice their tense conversation. After we broke up, I tried to reach you. I called, I texted, I even emailed you. But you never responded. Ryan frowned. That's impossible. I never got any messages from you. Emma swallowed hard. I even went to your office once. Your secretary wouldn't let me in. She told me you had moved on and that I should stop trying to contact you. Ryan's entire body tensed. Wait, what? Emma nodded, her eyes filled with years of hurt. She made it clear that you weren't interested in seeing me again. I was heartbroken, Ryan. And by then I was already pregnant. I wanted to tell you, but after being shut out so many times, I figured you didn't want anything to do with me. Ryan clenched his jaw. He thought back to his old secretary, Monica. She had worked for him for years, always handling his schedule and screening his calls. But could she have done something like this? His stomach churned with anger. If Emma was telling the truth, then he had been robbed of 5 years with his daughter. All because of a lie. Emma, I swear to you, I never got those messages. If I had known, he ran a hand down his face, his frustration mounting. If I had known, I would have been there for you. For Lily. Emma's expression softened slightly. I didn't keep her from you to punish you, Ryan. I was just trying to survive. Being a single mother wasn't easy, but I did what I had to do. Ryan looked at Lily, who was now humming to herself as she played with the straw in her milkshake. His heart ached at the thought of all the moments he had missed, her first steps, her first words, her birthdays. He had been a stranger to his own child. I want to be in her life, he said firmly. I'm not just going to walk away from this. Emma bit her lip. Ryan, I need to know that you're serious. That you're not just saying this because you feel guilty. His gaze met hers, unwavering. I've never been more serious about anything in my life. Emma hesitated before nodding slowly. Okay, then let's take this one step at a time. The next few weeks were a whirlwind for Ryan. He rearranged his entire schedule to make time for Lily, picking her up from school, taking her to the park, and even learning how to braid her doll's hair. It was overwhelming but also the most fulfilling thing he had ever done. But it wasn't easy. One evening, he took Lily to a small amusement park. She was thrilled, her laughter echoing as they rode the carousel together. But when he offered to take her on the Ferris wheel, she hesitated. I usually ride this with Mommy, she murmured, glancing up at him. Ryan felt a pang in his chest. He was still an outsider in her life. Someone new. Someone she wasn't sure she could trust yet. I understand, he said gently. Maybe next time? She gave him a small smile. Maybe. It wasn't much, but it was something. Just when things seemed to be going smoothly, a complication arose. One afternoon, Emma called him, her voice tense. We need to talk. It's important. Ryan's stomach dropped. What's wrong? She sighed. Lily's biological father is back. Ryan froze. Excuse me? Emma hesitated before saying, I mean the man whose name is on her birth certificate. Ryan's mind reeled. Who the hell is he? She bit her lip. After I thought I lost you, I tried to move on. I was scared, alone, and I made a mistake. I got involved with someone briefly, and when I found out I was pregnant, he offered to take responsibility, even though I knew Lily wasn't his. Ryan's hands clenched into fists. So, legally, he's her father? Emma nodded. He never tried to be in her life, though. Until now. Ryan's heart pounded. He had just found his daughter, and now he might have to fight for her.
No.
He wasn't going to let anyone take her away from him. Ryan Carter sat in his office, staring blankly at the city skyline through the massive glass windows. The world outside was busy, moving at its usual relentless pace, but inside, Ryan felt frozen. Emma's words from the night before still echoed in his mind. Lily's biological father is back. He could barely wrap his head around it. Mark Holloway wasn't Lily's real father, Ryan was. He clenched his fists, his emotions shifting between anger and frustration. How could this man suddenly decide to be a father now, after 6 long years of absence? And how could Emma have let this happen? Before he could think further, his phone buzzed. Emma, can we talk? It's important. Ryan grabbed his jacket and left the office. He needed answers. Emma opened the door, looking exhausted. Her hair was pulled into a messy bun, and worry lines creased her forehead. Ryan stepped inside, and the tension between them was thick. Where's Lily? He asked. She's at my mom's for the night, Emma replied, leading him to the living room. Ryan didn't sit. He stood with his arms crossed. Tell me everything. How did Mark even know about Lily? Emma sighed, rubbing her temples. He didn't. I never told him. But 2 days ago, he showed up out of nowhere, saying he wanted to be in her life. Ryan's jaw clenched. And you believe him? She shook her head. No, but legally, he's on her birth certificate. That gives him a right to pursue custody if he wants to. Ryan exhaled sharply, pacing the room. This is insane. You let him sign that certificate when you knew he wasn't the father? Emma's face twisted in guilt.
I was scared, Ryan.
When I found out I was pregnant, you were gone. Mark was there. He said he'd take responsibility, and I was alone. I didn't know what else to do. Ryan ran a hand through his hair. He wanted to be furious, but he could see the pain in Emma's eyes. She had been scared, desperate. Still, this changed everything. If he fights for custody, what are the chances of him winning? Emma hesitated. If it goes to court, the judge will look at stability. Right now, he has the legal claim. You don't have anything official yet. Ryan's stomach turned. Then we need to fix that. The next morning, Ryan met with his lawyer, Jacob Monroe. Ryan, this isn't going to be easy, Jacob said, flipping through a folder. The law recognizes the man on the birth certificate as the father. Even though we can prove your biological connection, courts prioritize stability. We need to show that you've been involved in Lily's life. Ryan leaned forward. What do I have to do? First, we get a paternity test to confirm your claim. Then, we build a case proving you've provided for Lily financially and emotionally. That means showing involvement, support, and commitment. Ryan nodded. I'll do whatever it takes. Jacob gave him a pointed look. That includes considering a formal custody arrangement. Are you ready for that? Ryan didn't hesitate.
Yes.
I want to be in Lily's life. Not just as a visitor, but as her father. Jacob smiled slightly. Then let's get to work. A week later, the paternity results came in. As expected, Ryan was Lily's biological father. But Mark didn't back down. The custody hearing was tense. Mark's lawyer argued that he had been Lily's legal father since birth, and that removing his rights would be disruptive. Ryan's lawyer countered with a DNA test and proof that Ryan had already stepped up financially and emotionally. Emma sat between the two men, visibly torn. When the judge turned to her, asking who she believed should have custody, she took a deep breath. I don't trust Mark, she admitted. He was never around when Lily needed him. Ryan is her real father in every way that matters. I want Lily to have a stable future, and I believe that future is with Ryan. Mark scowled, but the damage was done. After a long pause, the judge delivered her verdict. Ryan Carter is the biological father, and given his demonstrated commitment, I grant him joint custody. Mark Holloway's petition is denied. Ryan exhaled in relief. Mark stormed out of the courtroom, leaving Ryan and Emma sitting in silence. "We did it," Emma whispered. Ryan turned to her, his heart pounding. "This isn't just about winning, Emma. This is about Lily having the life she deserves." Emma's eyes softened. "I know." In the weeks that followed, Ryan made major changes. He bought a house just a few blocks from Emma's, making sure he was close enough to be present in Lily's daily life. He picked her up from school, helped her with her homework, and tucked her into bed whenever she stayed with him. One night, as he was reading her a bedtime story, she reached out and held his hand. "Daddy," she whispered. Ryan froze. It was the first time she had ever called him that. "Yes, sweetheart." She smiled sleepily. "I'm happy you found me." Tears burned at the back of his eyes. He squeezed her tiny hand. "Me too, Lily." From the doorway, Emma watched them, her eyes glistening. Ryan had fought for Lily, but now he realized he wanted to fight for Emma too. And this time, he wasn't letting go. Ryan Carter had won custody of his daughter, Lily. He had fought for her, proved his love, and finally earned the right to be the father she deserved. But as he sat alone in his new house, staring at the empty walls, he realized something was missing. Lily had brought joy into his life, but there was still a hole in his heart. Emma. For 6 years, he had convinced himself that what they had was in the past, that she had moved on, and he had no choice but to do the same. But now, with Lily sleeping just a few rooms away, he knew the truth. He still loved Emma. And if he wanted to be a real family, he had to fight for her too. Ryan spent the next few weeks focusing on being the best father he could be. He picked Lily up from school, helped her with her homework, and spent weekends taking her to the park, museums, and ice cream shops. Emma saw the changes in him. One evening, after dropping Lily off at Emma's house, Ryan lingered at the doorway. "Can we talk?" he asked. Emma hesitated but nodded, stepping outside. They stood under the porch light, the night air cool around them. "What's on your mind?" she asked. Ryan took a deep breath. "You and Lily, you're the best thing that's ever happened to me." Emma's lips parted slightly, but she didn't speak. He continued, "I spent years thinking I lost you, but now that I have Lily in my life, I can't ignore what's in my heart. I still love you, Emma." Her eyes widened, and she looked away, her fingers tightening around her sweater. "Ryan, this isn't just about us anymore. It's about Lily. If we mess this up again, she'll be the one who gets hurt." He stepped closer. "I know, and that's why I don't want to rush into anything. But I want us to try to rebuild what we lost." Emma looked up at him, searching his face for something, maybe sincerity, maybe hope. Finally, she sighed. "I don't know, Ryan. I'm scared." He reached for her hand.
"So am I."
"But isn't it worth trying?" She didn't pull away. Maybe, just maybe, there was still a chance. Ryan and Emma took things slowly. They started spending more time together, but not just as co-parents. They went on walks with Lily, had movie nights, and even shared dinners. At first, it was awkward. Years of separation had created distance, but little by little, the walls began to fall. One evening, Ryan invited Emma and Lily over to his house for dinner. Emma was hesitant, but when she stepped inside, she gasped. "You decorated," she said, looking around. The once empty walls were now filled with framed pictures, photos of Lily, drawings she had made, and even an old picture of Ryan and Emma from years ago. The living room had cozy furniture, a soft rug, and Lily's toys scattered around. "You did all this?" Emma asked, turning to Ryan. He shrugged. "I wanted this house to feel like home for Lily. And for you too, if you ever wanted." Emma swallowed hard. She wasn't ready to say yes.
"Not yet."
But a warmth spread through her chest. For the first time in years, she saw the man she had fallen in love with. Lily's 6th birthday was approaching, and Emma wanted it to be special. "We should throw her a party," Ryan suggested one evening. Emma hesitated. "I was thinking of just something small. Maybe a cake at home." Ryan frowned. "She deserves more than that." Emma bit her lip. It's not about what she deserves, Ryan. It's about keeping things simple. Ryan sighed. I get it, but Emma, Lily has been through a lot this year. She found out she has a real dad. She's adjusting. Maybe a party would make her feel special. Emma thought about it and nodded. All right. But nothing too big. Ryan grinned.
Deal.
The party was held at Ryan's house, and to Emma's surprise, he had done everything perfectly. There were colorful decorations, a huge cake, and even a small bounce house in the backyard. Lily was thrilled, running around with her friends, laughing louder than Emma had ever heard before. Emma watched as Ryan lifted Lily onto his shoulders, spinning her around. He looked so happy. And then she realized she was happy too. Later that evening, after the guests had left and Lily had fallen asleep, Emma found Ryan in the kitchen, cleaning up. You did good today, she said softly. Ryan chuckled. I just wanted her to feel loved. Emma nodded. She does. A silence settled between them, comfortable yet filled with unspoken words. Then, Emma took a deep breath. Ryan, I've been thinking. Maybe we should try. His eyes snapped to hers. Try. She swallowed. Being a family. Together. Ryan's breath caught. Are you sure? Emma hesitated, then smiled. Yes. He stepped forward, gently cupping her face. I won't mess this up, Emma. She leaned into his touch. Then don't. And then, for the first time in 6 years, they kissed. Not out of regret. Not out of longing. But out of love. A love that never truly faded. 3 months later, Emma and Lily moved in with Ryan. Their new life wasn't perfect. There were arguments, misunderstandings, and adjustments. But there was also love. One night, as they sat on the couch watching a movie, Lily snuggled between them. Ryan looked at Emma and smiled. We finally got it right this time, he whispered. Emma squeezed his hand. Yes, we did. And for the first time in a long time, Ryan Carter felt at peace. His life had once been about control, ambition, and success. Now it was about something far greater.
Family. Love.
And a second chance that he would never let go of again. That brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.